It includes Parker and Wise counties until midnight local time. And this was an observed tornado down near the Weatherford area. So you want to treat this as it is a confirmed tornado on the ground. Just if you know anybody around the Fort Worth or Dallas areas tonight, give them a call and just let them know that there are some active tornado warnings around the Dallas metro. We were at a quarter-mile visibility here in El Paso about an hour ago. Now we're up to 1 mile, 4 miles up in Las Cruces and 2 miles now in Alamogordo, where earlier it was 3/4 of a mile. So it's not much in the way of improvements, but it is still something. We still do have area-wide dust storm warnings. Yeah, Brad, it's another day where locals have had to endure conditions like the ones behind me. I'll step out of the way so you can see all the wind and dust. Another day of blowing dust and another emergency alert dust storm warning. Roads that are not all traveled that frequently that do have the possibility of freezing over tonight. That's why school districts like YISD and many others tomorrow morning have issued 2-hour delays. Well, even though Hurricane Francine made landfall over 1,000 miles away from us in Morgan City, Louisiana, our local National Weather Service office located in Santa Teresa, New Mexico, is still helping provide forecast data for those being impacted by the storm. There are very strong winds at the upper levels of the atmosphere right in the northern Gulf of Mexico. So that'll help kind of chop the tops off of some of those thunderstorms, introduce some wind shear to the system, and help bring down those winds just a little bit. Regardless, it's going to be a catastrophic blow to the west coast of Florida. We don't usually see a whole lot of risks issued for us in this part of the country. So even though it's rather low, 1 out of 5, it's actually something noteworthy. So you can imagine pennies and nickels falling from the sky. That's how big that hail was. And you can see right at the tail end, it did make it to US 54, those bigger hailstones. Much quieter story right now. Welcome back. Your time is now 7:11. My name is Evan. Good morning, everybody, and happy Thursday. 67 atop of the Franklins, looking to the west from our popular mattress cam. Very warm start to the day. Will be filled with plenty of sunshine today.
I feel like we should maybe
yeah, you want to
switch things up a little.
Yeah, we'll get a little funky this morning. Let's do it. All right, here we go. So, happy Monday morning, everybody. Vanya Castillo is standing by in the Forewarned Weather Center. What do we need to know this morning, Vanya?
Yeah, then well, we're going to be seeing some slight rain chances this morning. Could be seeing some stronger gusts later on. We'll talk about that in just a little bit.
April Fools. We're not going to do that. A little bit of a secondary lead, right? Getting into the baseball spirit. And then we're going to go. We're going to race to the camera that's sitting over there with our photographer, Angel, right?
Okay.
All right. Ready? Okay. Secondary lead. Ready? 1, 2, go. I took the long way. This isn't fair. Who won, Chico? Who won that?
Who won, Chico?
It was pretty close. And of course, we're also watching that smoke plume to continue to spread. Right now, it's affecting areas to the northeast of the Ruidoso area. That'll switch to the northwest of that area as we go later into this morning because the winds will start to shift around. Heat advisories remain posted for El Paso, Hudspeth, and Doña Ana counties for both today and tomorrow for those dangerously hot temperatures ranging between 104 and 109 here in the lowlands. Wear plenty of sunscreen. UV index above a 10 can burn your skin in less than 5 to 10 minutes. With those calm winds out there to start out, going into this afternoon, it'll still be mild. We're going to be above our average high into the low to mid 80s this afternoon, but we'll turn very windy and have those widespread dense areas of blowing dust later on today. When those updrafts are near, say, a dust devil, it can actually draw that dust devil further up into the base of the cloud, kind of connecting it from the ground all the way up into the base of the cumulonimbus cloud, giving it a tornado-like appearance, even though it's not one. The main driver behind it all is the Santa Ana winds. Let's break that down. As an area of high pressure builds to the east of the Sierra Nevada mountains in California, air pushes down the mountain slopes as it travels downward. It becomes compressed, causing it to then warm. All right, time for a look outside this evening. It's definitely chilly in Ruidoso, 22 degrees at our Into the Mountain Gods cam. In the 30s, upper 30s, 38 degrees at Starlight Event Center over by our airport here in El Paso. Now, we have clear skies overhead. You see that here on the radar picture. That combined with fairly light winds overnight tonight will lead to another night of radiational cooling, just like last night. That sets us up for a very cold overnight. So clear skies, and there are those winds between 5 and 10 miles per hour area wide. So it'll be very cold tomorrow morning. Not maybe quite as cold as this morning, but still chilly nonetheless. Of course, jacket weather. We're talking about upper 20s here in El Paso tomorrow morning, and then lower 20s in a place like Las Cruces. We do warm up tomorrow similar to where we were today in terms of our highs, into the lower 50s with plenty of sunshine. Now, I do want to mention for tomorrow, there are the remnants of an upper level trough just sitting off to our north tomorrow afternoon. It won't do a whole lot for us here in El Paso or Las Cruces in the lowlands, but I do think in the higher elevations, the Sacramento Mountains, for example, you could see a bit of moisture try and work in from the east in the way of some snow showers. Nothing really crazy in terms of accumulations, just a few flurries flying tomorrow, but still something to keep in mind if you are going to be in this area tomorrow afternoon. Other than that, we stay mostly clear, maybe just a couple of clouds here in El Paso tomorrow afternoon, which means it's a good day to get that car washed. I know that I need to do that. I have dirt on my car left over from this week's snow event. So tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday all look like good days if you need to check that off your to-do list. Tonight, though, it's going to be cold. Again, upper 20s, 29 under clear skies and light winds. Here in El Paso, Las Cruces will be near the 20-degree mark, so definitely very cold. Some areas will get into the teens in the lowlands tomorrow morning as well, very similar to what we saw this morning. We do start to gradually warm up as we go into next week. We're at 51 tomorrow, 52 Monday, and then 54 slowly warming up by Tuesday. Las Cruces, we're in the upper 40s tomorrow, similar to today, and then we're into the lower 50s by Monday and Tuesday. Again, it's a very slow warm-up for next week. We'll talk the second half of the week in just a bit. Well, even though Hurricane Francine made landfall over 1,000 miles away from us in Morgan City, Louisiana, our local National Weather Service office, located in Santa Teresa, New Mexico, is still helping provide forecast data for those being impacted by the storm. How do they do that, you might ask? Through the use of weather balloons, something that National Weather Service offices across the country do as well. NWS El Paso lead meteorologist Connor Denhart explains.
So we do these weather balloons 2 times a day, 365 days of the year. And what this does is it gives us a snapshot of the atmosphere at a particular time all across the nation.
They take this atmospheric snapshot using a device called a radiosonde, which is attached to the balloon when it's released. It measures temperature, humidity, air pressure, and wind speed and direction. So now the big question. How is NWS El Paso helping with the forecast for Hurricane Francine all the way on the Gulf Coast?
So whenever there is significant weather in the Gulf of Mexico and Atlantic Ocean during hurricane season like it is right now, we do something called special releases. And what that is while normally we're doing these weather balloons 2 times a day, we up that to 4 times a day, every 6 hours.
But it's perfectly sunny here in the borderland, and we will not be seeing any impacts from Francine. So how can our weather possibly affect what's happening in Louisiana? Denhart says it's all connected.
So here in the mid-latitudes, weather usually moves west to east. So whatever happens here in the southwest U.S. Will impact Hurricane Francine down the road and its eventual track.
At 5 o'clock, it's time for launch.
Towards the middle here, so you don't get too close to the walls. Very good.
The radiosonde is attached, the balloon is ready, and she's off.
There we go. It's off. Collecting data.